Oregon State Police say a Chevy Silverado crossed the center line and sideswiped a semi-truck before hitting and killing Gary, Michelle, Ryan, and Kate Rutledge. Police say the car went up in flames. The two teenagers in the car, 17-year-old Ryan and 15-year-old Kate, attended Reynolds High School. Both the school district and neighbors told us losing this family is a devastating blow to the community.
We just saw him a couple of days ago, and now we're never going to see him again. And just think how devastating that is. So take the time that you have with the people that you care about.
You go to elementary school, junior high, and high school together with those group of kids. You're friends with them, lifelong friends, and it's going to be hard Monday morning.
So difficult. Police say the driver of that Chevy Silverado that hit the Rutledge family was transported to a local hospital with serious injuries. No word yet on if they will be criminally charged. Tim?
All right, Ashley, thanks so much. Our hearts go out to everyone connected to the Rutledge family tonight. We also have an update on a fatal crash from Aloha. This happened around 8 last night along Southeast Cornelius Pass Road. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has identified the 63-year-old victim as Balbina Andrade of Hillsborough. The Sheriff's Office says speed and impairment were not factors in the crash. The road was closed for just over 4 hours during the investigation. Well, to some easier news to take now. The solar eclipse is coming on, and what a show it was. Depending upon where you were in the state and depending upon cloud cover, you might have seen a partial eclipse or the ring of fire. Alma McCarty traveled down to Eugene in the path of annularity.
The solar eclipse is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
The clouds didn't deter the crowds Saturday morning with their camping chairs, blankets, and eclipse glasses in tow.
I'm excited because I probably won't get to see it ever again.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated with this kind of stuff.
The hundreds expected on the front lawn of the Eugene Science Center showed, including David and Claire, who traveled down from Portland after they heard it was happening on the news.
This is the second time in my life I've seen one. I've only seen once in 2017. The last time I did it, I was pretty young, so I don't really remember much.
No matter if they didn't see it, many telling us they were just glad to get the chance.
It's worth it if we see it. If we don't, then it's fine.
I've been looking at the forecast for about a week, and I was hoping it would break, but it wasn't looking good. But we've got a little peak of sun right now.
So when the clouds parted, ever so briefly as the eclipse reached annularity, the crowd erupted in cheers.
I'm very glad that we saw some of it because there was a very beautiful circle.
So excited when that cheer went up. It just really gets you.
Carl Nelson traveled from Toledo, Ohio to see the annular eclipse as his science center prepares for a total eclipse in about 6 months.
We're trying to get people excited about that, getting them to know how special it is to be in totality. So Science Center sent me out here because I've never experienced an eclipse before. And it was really kind of cool.
Space enthusiasts eagerly captured and shared the evidence of this astronomical event.
We took this picture about 20 minutes ago, and it was perhaps one of the most incredible things I've seen in my life.
All in all, a morning well spent, staring up at the sky, reminded of a common bond, a shared connection.
If there's gonna be another ring of fire, I will definitely come to see it.
It doesn't sound like anyone regretted their decision to travel down to the path of annularity or to come out and see the solar eclipse on Saturday morning. And some tell me this has even sparked more excitement for the next eclipse. Several people planning on traveling to the states where it will be visible, from Texas to Maine, in April 2024. Reporting in Eugene, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
What a great time down there. You know, the conditions may not have been all that great in the metro area, but some people were able to catch a glimpse of the eclipse. Let's check in with Joe Ranieri. Joe, I did not. I have to admit.
I missed it as well, but and I knew I was going to miss it because I was in an area that was just kind of socked in with a lot of low clouds and patchy areas of fog. But you know, the solar eclipse that takes place, for 6 months from now, like Alma was saying, I think there will be a few locations that Austin and Dallas. We get a new PTO balance at the first of the year, so I might have to think about traveling east for that because I missed this one. But again, it's very spectacular to see. We do have some video of one that happened earlier this morning. Again, this was taken from Brett Eichenberger, and I apologize, I'm not sure exactly where, but again, you can kind of see that the clouds kind of filtering in that shot right there. But it's just spectacular to see, whether you see that ring of fire or even a little bit less of the eclipse. It's really kind of a once in a lifetime, well, maybe not quite once in a lifetime event, but still a lot of fun to check out. I know a lot of people are still talking about it, including myself. Right now, though, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies out there on your Saturday night. Again, we're still going to be dealing with some light showers the rest of your Saturday evening. And heading into tomorrow, it's going to be more dry than wet. As we look at the radar, you can kind of see all the showers starting to move in along the kind of the northwest side of the state. A little bit drier in southern Oregon, but still a lot of us saw cool and cloudy conditions. So this is that cold front that's going to be bringing in some of those widespread showers the rest of your night. We will be dry for tomorrow, but still a lot of cloud cover. And this is the next system that I'm tracking. That's going to be bringing in a lot of wind, rain, and a chance for thunderstorms. That one moves through heading into Monday morning. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to talk about tomorrow morning. Again, if you're along the coast, that's your best bet to see maybe some measurable amount of rain. It's going to be pretty light. I think more measurable amount of rain will be starting to fall along the southern part of the Washington coast. So if you're going to be out and about in that location, expect to see some light sprinkles, maybe some heavier downpours at times. But here's a look at the day planner for your Sunday. Again, morning rain, but mainly dry by late morning, early part of the afternoon. Rainfall amounts aren't going to be adding up to much, and daytime highs will be topping out right around the low 70s, so a little bit above average, Tim. But I'm tracking a bit of a warm up that arrives by the middle part of next week, with temperatures approaching the mid 70s. I'll talk more about that in the 7-day forecast.
Okay, Joe, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. And now to the latest abroad and the war between Israel and Hamas. Tonight, the Israeli military is continuing to warn people in northern Gaza to evacuate and head south. It's a move that is widely seen as an opening step in a massive ground operation against Hamas. Northern Gaza is home to 1 million people, and the United Nations has warned that forcing them out of their homes would be a humanitarian disaster. Palestinians here in the U.S. are continuing to advocate for their loved ones being impacted by the war.
Seeing what is occurring not just in the Gaza Strip, but also within the occupied West Bank, has been heart-wrenching.
The average Palestinian person here is living in hell on a daily basis.
It's frustration and also rage. Elderly people who need to be on wheelchairs and taken care of.
Now, at last check, at least 1,300 people, including 258 soldiers, were killed in Israel in the terrorist attack, and more than 3,300 were injured. In Gaza, more than 1,900 people have been killed, and more than 7,600 have been injured. And be sure to stay with KGW and NBC News for continuing coverage of the Israel-Hamas war. Look for updates here and anytime at KGW.com, on the KGW Plus, or on KGW's app. And now to our homeless crisis that can be felt really statewide, not just in Portland. And drug use is one of the big driving factors. Now homeless people at a Salem encampment say Measure 110, which decriminalized many hard drugs, is making matters worse. Thomas Schultz has the story.
Take a walk around Wallace Marine Park in Salem, and you'll see beautiful ball fields. But if you keep walking into the woods, you'll be greeted by one of the biggest homeless camps in Oregon. Hundreds of people live here in makeshift homes. For one reason or another, they've struggled on the streets for years. Many use deadly drugs to cope.
We've lost, 8, 9 friends within the past 2.5 years, 3 years, if that.
Others became addicted to drugs when they were kids.
I was wrecked.
Matthew Macera's dad let him drink alcohol when he was in 2nd grade.
He introduced me to a life of addiction at 8 years old, and then introduced me to crank at 11 years old. At 11 was the first year I got stabbed.
And he was stabbed 13 more times, shot twice, and stabbed others himself. Macera spent 27 years in the drug world after becoming homeless as a teen. He says drugs led to violence and crime, breaking into cars to support his addiction.
Me being on the streets was due to addiction.
For years, he lived here and still has many friends who have made a home.
I love you too, bro.
Now he's off the street, trying to help others find housing.
And let me know, man, if you're ready.
Though he says Measure 110, which decriminalized small amounts of hard drugs, makes matters worse.
It's only caused harm.
Decriminalization of the drugs thing just made it easier for people to do and not enough consequence for them to want to change, you know?
Measure 110 was supposed to lead to less crime, more safety, and less deaths by getting people into treatment instead of the legal system. Though these people haven't seen any of that happen.
I'm tired of having a lot of my friends or people that consider themselves family build the friendship and the relationships that we have to the next day finding out that they overdosed because some stupid drugs.
Though Measure 110 proponents say it hasn't increased drug use, as the entire country has seen a surge of fentanyl use. A February report on Measure 110 shows 60,000 Oregonians struggling with addiction were helped, though people here haven't seen the benefit. And living homeless is already hard enough. Health problems are common. At the park, we met a man who had just called an ambulance for chest pain. He's already been to the hospital 8 or 9 times this year for similar reasons. The last time, he was in a coma for 8 days.
Society says that they have less value than the rest of society does.
A society in the woods. Masera is trying to keep afloat, something he says is becoming more challenging. In Salem, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
The local Kaiser pharmacy workers remain on strike after the bargaining teams failed to reach an agreement this week. Right now, the union is on a 21-day strike that began October 1st. They're asking for more pay, staff, and better benefits. The next bargaining session is scheduled for Monday.